1901 Stanley Cup, Montreal Arena, Westmount, Quebec. Winnipeg Victorias edge Montreal Shamrocks, 2-1 to sweep Challenge Series, 2-0. In 1920 Quebec Bulldogs centre Joe Malone sets NHL record with 7 goals in a 10-6 win against Toronto St. Patrick's at the Quebec Arena. In 1920, 3 Montreal Canadiens beat Hamilton Tigers, 5-4 at the Mount Royal Arena, Montreal. First penalty-free game played in NHL history. In 1924 Austrians Helene Engelmann Alfred Berger win the pair skating gold medal at the Chamonix Winter Olympics, beat Finnish pair Ludowika Jakobsson Walter Jakobsson by just 0.39 points. In 1924 Herma Szabo of Austria wins the ladies figure skating gold medal at the Chamonix Winter Olympics, only women's event at the Games. In 1925 Australasian Championships men's tennis, Sydney, James Anderson of Australia wins second straight Australasian crown, beats countryman Gerald Patterson 11-9, 2-6, 6-2, 6-3. In 1925 Australasian Championships women's tennis, Sydney, Daphne Akhurst wins first of 5 home titles, beats fellow Australian Esna Boyd 1-6, 8-6, 6-4. NL rules on Hornby 1927 NL rules future Baseball Hall of Fame infielder Rogers Hornsby can hold stock in the St. Louis Cardinals and play for the NY Giants, earns $2,916 dividend on same day. In 1938 Australian Championships men's tennis, American Don Budge wins the first leg of his Grand Slam, beats John Bromwich of Australia 6-4, 6-2, 6-1. In 1938 Australian Championships women's tennis, American Dorothy Cheney wins her only Grand Slam singles title, beats Dorothy Stevenson of Australia 6-3, 6-2. Louis vs. Burman 1941 in his 13th title defense Joe Louis KO's Red Burman in the 5th round at Madison Square Garden, New York to retain NYSAC heavyweight boxing crown. In 1948 an unprecedented 3-way tie for the silver medal in the 500m speed skating at the St. Moritz Winter Olympics. Americans Robert Fitzgerald Ken Bartholomew and Thomas Byberg of Norway are equal on 43.2s. Finn Helgesen of Norway wins gold, 43.1s. In 1948 Sweden sweeps the medals in the 18 km cross-country event at the St. Moritz Winter Olympics. Martin Lundstrom M takes gold ahead of countrymen Nils Stenson and Gunnar Eriksson. In 1948 Swiss pair Felix Intrich Friedrich Waller beat countrymen Fritz Fairhaben Paul Eberhard to win the 2-man bobsleigh gold medal at the St. Moritz Winter Olympics. Silver medalist Fairhaben is team coach. In 1949 Australian Championships men's tennis, Frank Sedgman wins first of 2 straight Australian titles, beats fellow Australian John Bromwich 6-3, 6-2, 6-2. In 1949 Australian Championships women's tennis, American Doris Hart beats Nancy Wynne Bolton 6-3, 6-4 for the first of her 6 Grand Slam singles titles. In 1951 Australian Championships women's tennis, Nancy Wynne Bolton beats Thelma Coyne Long 6-1, 7-5 for her 6th and last Australian singles crown. In 1951 Australian Championships, American Dick Savitt wins his only Australian title, beats Ken McGregor of Australia 6-3, 2-6, 6-3, 6-1. In 1952 Detroit Tigers Harry Heilmann Pittsburgh Pirates Paul Wainer elected to Baseball Hall of Fame. Retaliation against week 1953 MLB New York Yankees, Cleveland Indians, Boston Red Sox retaliate against St. Louis Browns Bill Veeck for trying to relocate the team, scheduling the Browns to play afternoon games to avoid sharing TV revenues. In 1955 Australian Championships men's tennis, in an All-Australian final Ken Rosewall wins his 2nd Australian title, beats Lou Hode 9-7, 6-4, 6-4. In 1955 Australian Championships women's tennis, Beryl Penrose wins her only Australian singles title, beats Thelma Coyne Long 6-4, 6-3. In 1956 Austrian skier Toni Sailer wins the slalom at the Cortina d'Ampezzo Winter Olympics for his 2nd gold medal of the Games, sweeps all 3 alpine skiing events. Jackpot Bowling 1958 Jackpot Bowling premieres on NBC with Leo Durocher as host. Cronin AL President 1959 former star MLB shortstop and manager Joe Cronin signs 7-year pact to become American League president. In 1961 West Indian cricket batsman Rohan Kanhai scores back-to-back centuries in the drawn fourth test against Australia in Adelaide. Follows first innings 117 with 115 in second knock. 1965 19th century pitcher James Galvin elected to Baseball Hall of Fame. In 1966 Australian Championships men's tennis, Roy Emerson makes it 4 straight Australian titles, beats American Arthur Ashe 6-4, 6-8, 6-2, 6-3. In 1966 Australian Championships women's tennis, Margaret Smith wins her 7th consecutive Australian singles title, beats American Nancy Richard in a walkover, Richard injured. Cricket history 1966 Bill Lawry 119 Bob Simpson 225 complete match-winning 244 opening stand in Australia's first innings, 4th test v England in Adelaide. In 1971 Special Veterans Committee adds 6 former players and 1 executive to the Baseball Hall of Fame: Dave Barncroft, Jake Beckley, Chick Hafey, Harry Hooper, Joe Kelly, Rube Marquardt and George Weiss. Gibbs sets record 1976 in his final test. West Indian cricket spin bowler Lance Gibbs dismisses Australian opener Ian Redbath for 101 in 6th test in Melbourne, becomes highest test wicket taker at 308. In 1977 Joe Sewell, Amos Rusey and Al Elpis elected to Baseball Hall of Fame. 1980 232nd NBA All-Star Game, Brendan Byrne Arena, East Rutherford, NJ. East beats West, 120-118, MVP Larry Bird, Boston Celtics. In 1982 NFL Pro Bowl, Aloha Stadium, Honolulu, High, AFC beats NFC, 16-13, MVP co-MVP Kellen Winslow, San Diego Chargers, T. Leroy Selman, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Der. 1984 36th NHL All-Star Game, Brendan Byrne Arena, East Rutherford, Wales Conference beats Campbell Conference, 7-6, MVP, Don Maloney, NY Rangers, LW. In 1988 Super Bowl Roman 22, Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego, Carr, Washington Redskins beat Denver Broncos, 42-10, MVP, Doug Williams, Washington, QB. 1990 first ever All Sports Daily National begins publishing. In 1991 Denver Nuggets Michael Adams becomes shortest NBAer to get a triple-double. In 1993 Super Bowl,